Steve was on a flight before me, a few hours before me, and he's just landed and he's now at boarding control. He said, okay, issue. No idea where my passport is. I've landed in LA, I've got security, and I don't have my passport. So Steve's landed with no passport, and we have no idea what's going to happen.
What's going on in the huddle?
We're just huddling.
Planning.
Call them back.
Just sort
They
of
called you.
They called me.
What did they say? Just that she's sick.
They said had a night being really sick. She needs to postpone this. Can we do it virtually or in London?
Okay.
Just want to, maybe reiterate that we have come out here with the set. We only film in person. We're in LA until Monday. We can do it tomorrow. We can do it Sunday. And she was like, okay, let me see how she feels later today.
Okay. I always send an email.
Okay.
Because the email gives you a chance to really hit the points.
Okay.
It's much more difficult to hope that you say the right thing on a call. I always bumble calls because,
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Guess now it opens up time for you to sort out the passport.
100% on the plane. It's like, I'm so convinced. It's like, well, how could it be anywhere else? So, here's what happened. As I'm walking up into the plane, the guy goes, "Hey, Mr. Bartlett, good to see you again." And he goes, "What seat number are you in?" I go 1K, because I knew what seat I was in. So I don't know if I ever showed the people on the plane. Usually when you get on a plane, they ask you. And then I sit down on my table, I land in America, I walk to security, I go back, get my passport out, we're at the border, I'm looking and I'm going, oh fuck, I ain't got it. So it was either at Heathrow, and then you go, well, the only other place it could be is I was laying in a bed on a plane where there's loads of ways something can fall down the side, and it wasn't in a case.
And then you managed to negotiate your way out of the airport.
I was in that immigration room for 4 hours or something. It's like an A&E waiting room. Oh. Everyone's depressed. If you touch your phone, they'll take it off you. You can't touch it. So you're sat there for 4 hours, you can't touch your phone, everyone's head's like, ugh. You can see all the fucking security people. They're all behind the glass, and they're like, "Yo, Dave, what you doing tonight? Yo, what you doing, bro?" They're like, they're like, "Ha ha ha." They're like, "Oh," and then she said to me, and we're all sat there like fucking just our lives are like. The woman said Bartlett, and I walked over. I was like, "Hey," it's really been so nice. I was like, "I'm so stupid. I've left my passport on the plane." And she's like, "You stupid." I'm like, "I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid, dog." And she was like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Do you know a show called Shark Tank?" She goes, "Yeah, I love that show." I go, "Yeah, so I'm a dragon on Dragon's Den in the UK." She goes, "Oh, really?" She's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "Do you know?" She was like, "Yeah, I love." I was like, yeah, I'm out here to interview her. I was like, "I left my passport on the plane. I'm so stupid." She was like, "You're so stupid." Yeah, I pulled up my Wikipedia. I was like, she goes, "We don't accept Wikipedia. We don't accept Wikipedia." She comes back. She goes, "It's your lucky day. It's your lucky day." She goes, "My supervisor says he's gonna give you the I-90 and there's no cost. Usually it's $600. No cost." Literally how it went.
I love having conversations like this with people like you, because when I walk out of here, I'm hoping that you will know that if I come back, there will be another interesting conversation.
100%.
And frankly speaking, the one thing that you are probably starved of the most in your day-to-day life is interesting conversation.
It's true.
Yeah, you can get it around this table,
Yeah.
but it's hard to get it in other places.
Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much. I don't want to take any more of your time either.
This question
Yes,
done.
I was trying to avoid it. My pleasure, man. Thank you. And good luck. Good luck with a lot of filming.
Yes. I just sent that message to my team because companies go through these interesting life cycles, and typically when you get to around 30 or 40 people in a team, you have to start thinking about a new set of problems, and that set of problems are really new problems that are going to allow you to get from 30 to 40 people to hundreds or thousands of people. Companies form these really interesting cycles. So you have this original sort of cult phase that I call it, and then the cult phase turns into the growth phase, and then the growth phase turns into the operational phase, and then the operational phase turns into death. That's when a company goes under. So if you think about, you know, any great company like Apple, they started off in a garage with a couple of founders, and it was a cult. And at that time, they didn't have operations, they didn't have a HR department, they didn't have finance, they didn't have really any of the infrastructure you need to scale. And then because of their success in that cult phase, they became a fast-growing company. And in that fast-growing phase is when they needed to implement these systems so that the whole company doesn't collapse. They need HR, they need finance, they need a people division. And in the Diary of a CEO team and in my broader podcasting business, the business this year has forecasted about $30 million in revenue and about $15 million in profit. And we're really doubling down on expanding the team, which means we now need to put in place infrastructure to support the growth phase, which is coming now. It's easy to manage people situations when your team are all sat within 10 meters of you. But the minute your team aren't sat within 10 meters of the CEO, then you need to put things in place to make sure that wherever they are, there's enough support for them so that they can be their best and most productive. And I think, you know, for many years, I've tossed and turned about what's the most important thing in business. And I'm really clear now. I'm fucking lost. Oh God, fucking shit. For the last 12 years that I've been in business, I've asked myself the question, what's the most important thing? And I currently, because I run this thing called Flight Group, I have visibility into about 41 different companies. And I am absolutely shocked that all of these companies that spend all their money on their products, their services, their customers, are spending just a fraction of their time and attention on what I believe to be the most important thing in all of business, which is your people. And the people subject is quite a broad one. It's about who you're bringing in, how you're keeping them, how you're developing them, how you're supporting them, how you're retaining them, and how you're making them stay happy, how you're taking care of their mental health, their physical health. In the world we live in today, whether you like it or not, as a CEO and a founder and an entrepreneur, you have more responsibility and more of an obligation to be more to your team members than just a job, because we're living in a lonelier world than ever before. We're living in a world where, oh shit. We're living in a lonelier world than ever before. We're living in a world where there's less community. People have less friends. There's less of a social infrastructure around your team members. So the workplace has more of a job to do there. And I was telling my team in that memo that we've offered a job to an exceptional candidate called James, who'll be joining our team as our first people person, as head of talent. And we'll also be hiring a head of culture and a bigger, broader talent team. Because like I always say on this vlog, when you think something's important and when it's a priority in your life, that should be reflected in how much you invest in it. People often say something is a priority, but then when you look at how they're allocating against that thing in terms of their time and their money, there's a misalignment. So when I say people are the most important thing, I should therefore have a team of people that are thinking about that. I should be investing my company's money in that thing. And I should essentially be aligning what you say your priorities are to where you're investing your time and attention. So that's what I was telling my team today. And yeah, I think they're grateful. Does someone build? The builders come in and do this?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We do need a permanent space, though, don't we? Because this probably is a 3-day job.
Yeah, to get this up.
And this is getting a bit tatty now. Because it's being put up, taken down, put up, taken down.
William's space would be perfect.
Maybe I'll just come out here for like a couple of days and we can just...
Come by tomorrow. Shit! He keeps messaging me and I keep missing it.
When was that?
Hey, Will, sorry. I was just calling because I missed your message from Sunday, but me and my team are actually looking for studio space in LA at the moment for the Diary of a CEO, and I was telling them about your space, so would love to... I'm in London, sleep, we've switched locations. Oh shit, sorry. See you later. I can't see, mate, if you've got a camera there.
Cuddle. 96% of non-cuddlers had an awful sex life.
Anything else?
Yes, the hookup culture is thriving.
Is that a problem?
There's no emotional connection. They feel more empty than before having that sex.
And that's a killer. And also, kissing is very powerful.
The hookup culture one was the least compelling.
The main reason why that's in there was because that was the third winning one. But my thoughts are is because the thumbnail sounds a lot more exciting than the actual answer.
100%.
So why one night stands are dangerous, I think, is a lot more compelling because it's like, oh, is it because of like narcissism? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? But the reason is connection.
Okay, so maybe we cliffhanger the reason now, because if that thumbnail ends up winning, then we don't want it to be a soft, because she literally goes, you feel empty inside. So if I've clicked that because I want that, and then she says that, I go, I can do now.
Okay. So I could probably build it up a little bit, saying this is a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Give them enough so they go, I should listen, but then keep some things away so they go, I need to listen. I need to find that out. And it's also give them enough so that people comment and argue, which equals engagement of the trailer itself, but hold some back.
Yeah.
Because if it's just all cliffhangers, they've got nothing to argue about.
That's true.
It's hard as well because now all the podcasts that I'm trying to get, they're in America. I can't get the go ahead because there's like, oh, but this might happen or this might happen, and it's like, it's fine because I get there's so many stuff going on. And I think a lot of people are kind of like, who sits where, which is fair, but the podcast is what drives this.
Yeah.
In my opinion, so like we need to have the guests and the people that I'm trying to get, they're the big names. Like
and it's time dependent. At the end of the day, it's a matter of like my judgment on my priorities in my life when I look at the whole picture, and I think there's very few things that stand in the way of the podcast being the priority usually. And as you say, I see it as the source of all the things.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Everyone's got a job to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And the time is the currency of people doing a good job.
Yeah, everyone's got this like thing, they need your bit of time.
Yeah. So I've made a group now just called Emergency Scheduling. Hey, can we schedule this please for when I'm back? Let's use this group for any urgent scheduling requests. Cool. Skrillex is in LA for the next couple of days. Just said, hey, miss you, bro. I've always wanted to get Skrillex on. His story is really interesting. I'm very, very busy.
How do you feel in control of your life?
Yeah.
When there's so many external demands on your top?
At the end of the day, it's all a choice. So everything with the key, it's all a choice I'm making. That's why it doesn't feel like it's like I'm a prisoner. It's really, really hard for people like old Steve that was working in a call centre in Manchester, organising people's hotel rooms, just people that couldn't be bothered to use the website. So I'd basically use the website for them. Nights like this, walking there because I didn't have enough money for a bus. If I said no to doing my shift that I absolutely hated, the consequence of me saying no to that would mean that I would lose the job and then I would have 30 days where I had to shop their food. And that happened sometimes. Sometimes I just got sick of it and I'd quit. And then after the money ran out, which it ran out very quickly, I was fucked again. So pressure is all relative and subjective, and that's the subjective element to stress. People tend to think that they're trying to live a life free from stress and pressure. What they're actually trying to do is live a life free from involuntary, meaningless stress and pressure. That was my life. It was involuntary in the sense that I needed that job to feed myself, and it was meaningless in the sense that booking hotel rooms for strangers was in no way intrinsically motivating for me. That was involuntary, meaningless stress and pressure. Now in my life, I have meaningful pressure and stress and work that I'm volunteering to do. If I cancelled everything, if I cancelled my tour, if I cancelled all my meetings, if I cancelled all my board meetings, it wouldn't mean that I couldn't feed myself today. If I cancelled everything, I would still be okay. And that means that the pressure I have in my life is voluntary. I'm choosing it because I can also unchoose it. And it's meaningful because I've filled my life with pressure that is intrinsically important to me. Deep inside my heart and chest, they are things that really matter to me. And that is the difference. When people look at my life, they'll think, oh my God, how does he not get burnt out? Or how is he not so stressed? Or like, how do you deal with all of that? Well, it feels completely different when you know that you've chosen it, when you know that you can unchoose it, and when you know that it matters to you. That is where I'm at in my life, and it's the fucking best place to be. And I'm choosing to keep myself there. Sometimes I have to be careful though, because sometimes I do take on a little bit too much stuff. And that causes a process issue. A little cramp in the front of my leg here. Causes a system failure. Wait. Rox, could you give the camera some context on this conversation cards thing, please?
Oh God, you want me to introduce it? Oh, yeah. Hello.
You might need to introduce yourself as well.
Oh God. What do I say? I'm Rox. I'm working with the Diary of a CEO team on launching some digital products. The first thing that we're going with is a digital version of the conversation cards to try and make them a little bit more engaging, to try and make it a little bit more valuable, to help encourage you, remind you of the conversations that you've been having, and that's why I'm here. Post our last conversation, I was like, let me turn this whole thing on its head. What if I had no money?
What would you do?
How would I do this whole thing?
Yeah.
One answer was, I would go immediately to the conversation cards app. I would make that the first thing I launched to throw out every other plan, and I would pre-sell an annual plan on that.
Now we're thinking.
If we can sell 600, we can get the whole app built by Ian and me, and with this being literally project zero.
Let's do this.
I agree.
I think that we should start here.
Do you want this to be 5 minutes or do you want it to be 15?
You always answer that question. It's such a good question. I don't actually know how long I want it to be because I don't know what it is, but let's do 15. And you sold your company?
Sold my company. Officially.
Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you. Another good news. Turns out my best designer friend watches Diary of a CEO.
Oh, great.
And so she is now working with us for Conversation Cards app.
Oh, fantastic.
So she is our designer.
Do you want to record this in your voice notes so that you can... Just so if you...
Okay, we're recording.
How did you do that so quick?
I have it keyed up to if I hold down this button so that I can take voice notes.
Smart.
Okay,
You
here's...
can tell he sold his company. He went from Android to iPhone. You can tell he sold his business.
Hey, you want to know why I got an iPhone? Because Mr. Stephen Bartlett said we should make an iOS app, and I said, well, I guess I need an iPhone. That's why I got an iPhone. This is initial designs for the app. This is a vibe. Right? This isn't final, but this is kind of what we're looking at. A lot of the interesting things I'll give you, putting in the names of who you're connecting with, and then later on you're going to get stats like, oh, you and Steven have gone through 20 questions together. It'll be like, oh, 1 month ago, remember when you had this deep conversation or something? Just to try and continue to think of ways to like...
I think it's dope.
The world's not going to change.
Is that a new laptop?
No, this is the same laptop. Dad's like, did you buy 10 new things? This is the only new thing I bought. My keyboard still is missing 2 keys.
What shoes are those?
The same shoe. They were $50.
We've made Rox a challenge. You just met Rox, haven't you? Yeah, you just met him. You've got socials tagged below. I just said to Rox, what if we created a tool that looks at the YouTube chapters and cuts your long form content at the YouTube chapters, spins it up onto a Clips channel, and automatically uploads it? And Rox went, I could do that in a day.
I could.
Let's cut to 1 day's time and see what happened.
Step 1, get to the airport. Step 2, acquire coffee. Step 3, actually get the thing done. Oh my god, wait, there's no way. Did it actually work? How to be a visionary, there we go.
Okay, so we've got more development. This was just minutes after I just recorded what I recorded then. He said, the only reason you're about to hear what I'm about to say is because he was successful. Go and subscribe to his YouTube channel at youtube.com/roxcodes, ROX codes. because he did it. He was successful, and he's the kind of guy that delivers on his word when he says he can do something, and that's a guy worth subscribing to, if you ask me. You're only seeing this if he actually did it within 24 hours.
Fine, I'll do it on the plane.
I'll do it on the plane. We'll zoom in on his YouTube there, so everyone can find it really easy. There you go. That's a wrap. Congratulations, mate. Teamwork makes the dream work. Woo! Well done.
Well done. Woo! Yeah.
Okay, well done, team.
Woo! Okay.
Okay, thank you for watching. I have to say one more thing to you that I've been meaning to talk to you about for about 12 months now. I've been working on something, and if you've been paying close attention to these vlogs over the last couple of weeks, couple of months, since it began, then you would have seen little clues and hints as to what I've been working on, but next week, I announce it to the world. Make sure you come back here Sunday next week. The vlog next week is going to be completely different. We're going to try and shoot a little bit of a documentary. So I'll see you here 6 p.m. Sunday next week. Subscribe if you don't already. Yeah, very excited.